Lacrosse is
Oh,
here.
yay! Oh my gosh.
So proud of you for getting that.
I'm a little bit proud of me too. I have to call my mom. Be right back. No, I'm just kidding. Michelle, what's up? Welcome. I'm
Hi,
super
Sam. How are
excited.
you?
I'm good. I was cutting Brussels sprouts just before, and I feel like I'm that hyped me up for this conversation.
Chop, chop, chop. A quick
Ex-
chop or like a slow chop?
A slow chop because I'm really afraid that I'm going to cut my fingers off.
Fingers off. Yep.
So,
Yeah. That wouldn't be good for softball.
not great. Yeah. Right. Oh my God. Okay. So before we get started, I'm just gonna, if you guys are just joining us because it's 6:30, I love the punctuality. I'm Sam Fischer, softball player for Athletes Unlimited, and I am joined right now. If you want to introduce yourself, Michelle, you can like say a little bio, pump yourself.
Of course.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm so excited to do this as well. I'm Michelle Tumolo. I am a new AU Pro Lacrosse. I'm also the head coach at Wagner College. It's in Staten Island, New York, and I played at Syracuse, and I'm currently on the USA Women's Lacrosse team. So
Wow.
a lot of fun things. But I'm just so excited to chat with Sam, and also just to get everyone more comfortable with, lacrosse becoming an AU sport. We're so excited, so pumped.
First of all, fantastic bio. Big thing. Big. I love that. So first and foremost, I think that the main thing when people hear about the Athletes Unlimited style with the changing and the points and all that kind of stuff, it out. I'll be honest, it freaked me out at first because, we play team sports. So as a lacrosse player, can I say lax even though I don't like?
Sure.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Cool way to say it, lax.
Lax. Heck yeah. All right. So like for lax, has that crossed your mind about the team versus individual? How do you feel with this being presented to you as an athlete?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was something that I thought about for sure. Just because of the other leagues we had and because it's just so different. But I think that's the cool part of it all. It is different. But you still are a part of a team. You're not just playing an individual game. For softball, you need all types of positions that creates a team. And you're still part of, a team that is trying to win. It's not, so I think that part, and talking to John and Jonathan and obviously Gwen and learning so much about, the softball side of things, it made me feel more comfortable. And I keep harping on the word opportunity. It's an opportunity to play. And we're so lucky that we know all of our players pretty well just because of this. I don't know how small the softball world is, but lacrosse is pretty small. Yeah. So it knows everyone anyway. So it's really cool to play with either your friends or old teammates or new teammates and just build these bonds to grow our sport. Because in the end, we want to grow the sport and we want to leave it better than it was. So we're just excited for that opportunity to do that. So I definitely understand where people are coming from though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I'll say, having played our season out, once everything starts going, you really see how team oriented it is.
Right.
If you win with your team, you win all the points,
Exactly.
That part's pretty cool. And you are a member of the player executive committee for Lax?
I am.
That's cool. So I'm on the PEC for softball. Yeah. So for those who don't know, the player executive committee is a group of players in their specific sport. So we have lax, we have volleyball, we have softball, and they essentially make a lot of the decisions, have a lot of the conversations. I know we talked earlier that essentially the scoring system is still kind of in the works. Is that something that you as a PEC are talking about all the time, trying to figure out?
Yeah, that's been definitely what we've been talking about the past week or so, just because all the other things we were doing before that. Now we get to do the fun stuff. So not that things aren't fun, but you know what I mean? The point system is so fun. So with lacrosse, there's so many ways that you can gain points. And we want to make sure that everyone has the equal opportunity to, because a goalie might not touch the ball as much of it as an attacker, but we want her to be able to still have the same ability to gain the amount of points that an attacker may be as she's scoring. But the best players are going to shine, so they're going to, I was telling you positionally, I think maybe the midfielders might have the best opportunity because they're on both sides of the ball. But going back to the team aspect and having, team wins and little points here and there goes to the team. So it's not just who scores the most points or puts the ball in the back of the net the most. It's more that what is your team doing? So I think that's the coolest part. And just going back to the team aspect of having different teams is, so it's cool that you get to pick those people every single week, and the best of the best are going to pick that. So if they see that a team's doing well and those people are gelling together, then they're going to pick those people.
Yeah.
So, and I know softball and lacrosse are such different sports, but it doesn't, it doesn't hinder the fact that we all want to win and we all want to be successful and help each other. So I think it's really cool. It's innovative, it's creative, and I'm just really excited for, to see it really.
Yeah, to see it all play out. And you're starting in July of 21, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, man. It's going to be here before we know it. That's so exciting.
I know.
That's
scary.
I'm
like, wait, it's November. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. I think it's already November. I don't know. I feel like I'm starting to sound like an old person because I'm like, can you believe how fast, time? Anyway, that's my old person voice.
We're so old, right? We're in our 30s.
What
not yet, but getting there.
I have a question. So with softball, you have people like, for instance, I'll play wherever anybody puts me, like first base, wherever. Does lacrosse, do people just strictly have their position, or do they play other positions too?
So that's actually a really good question, because you're welcome. You're getting that lax IQ here. So I grew up playing midfield. I played both sides. When I got to college, my coach just saw me as a low attacker. I could definitely go and play midfield. I have done it for the World Games and whatnot with Team USA. But the biggest change would be like if you were to take an attacker and go to like a defender, straight up defender. But it can be done, and it has been done. I think the biggest thing and the hardest thing would be going in the goal. I mean, that is just the toughest thing ever. But again, I can't say it's never happened. But I just think it's really cool to see players change their positions, and sometimes when the team needs you most in certain areas, you'll do whatever you can to get on the field. So, and being a coach at Wagner, I've seen that so many times where a kid will come in and I think she's an attacker. I'm like, maybe you should midi this and that. So it's cool. It's really cool to, but I definitely like, would you ever go on the pitching mound?
No. I wish.
Only if you hit people, right?
I wish, but then I'd lose a lot of points.
Yes, same. I tried to pitch here and there back in my day, but
throwing really low is like an advantage, but it wouldn't be for me. But I think that goes a lot to the point of a team gelling, because there were times we had 5 drafts, right? So there were times where girls were picked in position and put in positions purely because I really want you on my team, but if you can play this position, or so being able to kind of work around and work for the team, get the best together. I think that's the beauty of it, and figuring out all those moving pieces. But yeah, I'm so excited to my only real familiarity with lacrosse is I have a lacrosse ball that I use to like roll out.
I'm sure you roll out your body.
Yep. My brother does. I've like had the same lacrosse ball for like 12 years. So longevity.
Is it white or is it yellow?
It's purple. Is that wrong? Is that not?
Even better.
Okay.
They're like, here and there we get some purple ball. That's not very, we'll get you a yellow one.
I like purple. I don't even know why I have a purple lacrosse ball.
I don't know.
So, do you guys know yet, with the PEC and everything, do you guys know about commentators yet? Like people who are going to be broadcasting?
Not yet, but we definitely are going to take our time to pick the right people, because we do want people that know the game and have played it or have done commentating on a lacrosse game before, because it is so fast paced, and we're probably going to be looking for some more women, getting the women, more. Let's go. Because men and women's lacrosse is different. It is played differently. It's not to say that we don't cross and use each other's, creativity. But I think that we haven't picked them out yet, but that is in the works as well. And I really would hope that we find some legends to get on the mic there.
That'd be so cool. Yeah. Because for our commentators, we had 2 people who have done this for a long time, and can address, some of the questions that I'm sure a lot of people had when we first started. So they constantly talked about the point system. They constantly talked about what the moving pieces all were. But they So I think that that's going to be such a big piece, like taking your time. Am I back? Oh my God.
I missed it.
My mom tried to FaceTime me.
She heard you. She heard you talking about your Brussels sprouts.
I'm like, Mom,
also,
I told you not to call me right now.
Kayla Trainer, that's a good recommendation. That Kayla is in the comments. She's the best player in the world. Oh, no. So we got a legend to us right now. Cool. She's fine. So she's gonna be part of AU. So you're gonna do your homework. You're gonna YouTube Kayla Trainer after this, and then you're gonna be so excited about watching.
I will do it. I'm super excited. Wait, I have this is like more of a Sam question than maybe like a fan question, but do you guys like, what do you call your stick? What is the stick called?
Some people call it different things. It could be called a wand, like a magic wand, because you do some really magical things with it.
Great.
But people just really call it a stick.
They call it a stick? I thought I was.
Or a twig. Some people would call it a twig. Some, the real lazy people call it that.
Well, because I'm like, oh my, that was the first thing when I knew I was going to do this. I was like, oh my God, what do we call the stick? But if you like,
it's called a stick, but you could call it many different things. What do you call your bat? Do you have a name for it?
A lot of people call our bats sticks, like, which is interesting because it's not stickish at all. But yeah, we just call it our bat. Some people like refer to it as their child because, you get very close with bats.
Yes.
I'd imagine.
Stick is very, very important to a lacrosse player. It is everything. And especially for attackers like me, like I call myself a stick snob. I have to have it has to be perfect, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing that you're waving around the whole time.
Yep. Exactly.
It's very cool.
It's gotta be just right. Also, my mom's in the comment. My mom's listening, so I'm glad. Mom, don't FaceTime me. Sam's mom already checked.
I know. I'll be like, don't FaceTime because then the phone will stop the live. It's very confusing, and someone will start sweating. It's me. I'm sweating. So you said like it's such a small world. There's going to be players that you've played with and against.
Yeah.
Like everybody who's signed.
Yes. Very well for the most part. Yeah.
That's so cool.
The people that I probably wouldn't know the best would be like kids right out of college, just because I'm a little bit older now. I'm not with that crew.
Yeah.
But, so that would be really cool to get some youngins. And obviously we can't do that yet because they're still in college. So I'm excited about that.
That's so awesome. Yeah, that was one of the really cool things is a lot of people knew each other in our season. A lot of people that played against each other, and softball is a small world in the same sense. But you told me earlier that lacrosse is like the fastest growing sport in the country.
Right now it is, yes.
That's
yeah, like softball. I feel like, how many programs in D1 do you guys have? I think it's like what, in the 300s.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, see, we're half of that, not even half. Like, so we're like 100 and I think 20 or something. I might be off, but yeah. So you're all spread out. We're very much East Coast, and then a sprinkle, Midwest, and then the West. So I'm really excited to continue to hear more, programs popping up.
My stepsister plays lacrosse for our high school, and when I was in high school, we didn't have a lacrosse team. Mm-hmm. So even just from that point to now, having that interest, and I think I've heard more about it as of late than I ever did when I was in high school or in college.
Right. And, I mean, it's awesome to see. It really is. Yeah. And it's exposure too, like, more and more games being played on TV, and pro leagues popping up. It's the opportunity to play and for kids to choose a sport that might take them to great places is really cool. Obviously, both sides with softball or lacrosse, more options, the better.
Yeah, exactly. More opportunity.
Yes.
And so someone asked what position you're an attacker, right?
Yes, an attacker. I'm a lefty. I bat left, but guess what? I throw right.
Interesting.
Also, I'm a lacrosse player, sorry. But when I did play softball, I did that. Is that common?
That is very common. A lot of lefty hitters are natural right-handed throwers.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in lacrosse, lefties, they're not as common as right-handed players. So it's really I love being a lefty.
So cool. That's at one point I thought that's how softball was, where it was more righty dominant, but hitting wise, we did the math during season and it was almost 2-1 lefties versus righty hitters.
What?
That's the face I made when I finally did the math.
And you guys have switch hitters too, so you could do both. It's nuts.
There are some there. I've seen it happen before. Very rare, but very. How I can't even get down the one side. You know, it's hard enough. But yeah, the lefty to righty ratio was out of this world. But most lefty hitters, I think we have had like 5 lefty throwers. Maybe.
Wow.
Running the pitchers because they But
yeah, lacrosse is definitely. I mean, you see more and more, but it's really cool to see a player like Kayla Trainer, like I was just talking about. Like you couldn't tell like what hand dominant she is because she's so good both hands. It's unbelievable. It's really cool to see. So it's even harder to stop her because
oh my god, like, throw her stick behind her back and
yes, you'll see that in the highlights. Just
shut your mouth.
No, I'm dead serious. Yes, you'll see that.
Wow. Okay, I'm so excited to do a YouTube.
Yeah.
Cool. That's so cool. When I was I played over in Japan for a couple seasons, and when we would eat dinner, you know, everything was with chopsticks, and the girls would use the chopsticks with their right hand with their left hand because they wanted body balance, right? So that they
got it.
And like I can't even use a fork with my left hand. It's just you guys are way ahead of me, so that's really cool to think that someone can go either way.
Yeah, it's nuts, but it's really. I mean, there's a lot of players that can do it, but she does it the best. But yeah, that's. I need to hear about your Japan experience. That sounds amazing. After I'll have to hear about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I could talk all day about it. It was coolest, but it's nice. That's something that actually my husband and I were talking about is that going to Japan is such an incredible opportunity, but it's really, really far, you know,
of course,
difference, you know, and having the opportunity to play competitive ball in the States and only being, you know, halfway across the country instead of halfway across the world.
Of course,
that's huge. Is there a lot of international lacrosse, or is it?
There's and which is so cool because I actually got to travel to Australia. I traveled to England and Poland, and it's really cool to see, like even at the World Cup, just to see all the countries playing. And honestly, Australia has had the greatest players to ever come to the game, so it's really cool to see. And I'm very good friends with some of them, so I just feel like I'm in, you know, around my idols all the time.
That's so cool. Do you get a little starstruck sometimes?
Yeah. But now that we're like really good friends, it's like, okay, I'm in.
I made it.
Yes.
Oh man, that's so cool. And it's cool because I feel like the experiences that you're talking about and even like people that you meet, like it just feels very, very familiar because, you know, softball is very small. It legitimately, there's times when it's a struggle to continue your career. Like I think about some of the best players that I've seen play in college and they're done after college. They don't play that a lot.
I actually do see a lot of players go into coaching, and that was me. I actually wasn't sure that what I wanted to do until, because lacrosse, look at me now. Lacrosse was so new to me still, like even in college, because I had only played 4 years prior. So I fell in love with the game, and then I was like, I need to continue this. And I was lucky enough to get a job at a very good school at Florida, which has a phenomenal, they won back-to-back national championships when I was there. It was so cool. So I do see a lot of players go to be coaches, which is cool to see that, and you know, the opportunities for people. But yeah, even if it's, you know, any division, or in club or start their own business with you know, personal stuff. So it's really cool. It's cool to see that people are so in love with the game that they want to continue and grow it, and that's what we need in our sport.
I feel the same way when I see players that I played with or against become coaches. It just seems like that's just a good track to go, especially women, especially those who have played the sport, played softball. Because, you know, like I feel like, you know, playing baseball and then coming to coach softball, you've got great knowledge, but coming in and playing the game and being, you know, out on the field with other women and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's really cool to see. Do you guys, so I know for us, we had facilitators. For volleyball, they're going to have coaches. Do you guys know
we've talked about it, which again, still deciding, and I wish I had concrete answers for everyone. I think we're leaning towards facilitators, but could act as some type of coach. So we're kind of seeing what you guys did, and then volleyball, and we're kind of going with that. But it's definitely in the conversation. But I definitely think I see both sides. I love having a coach. But it might be a different, we may use the facilitators as both roles in a way.
Yeah, which I think it all depends on the team captain too.
Yeah.
Where I had team captains who were like, you know what, you facilitator are going to pretty much make the plan. We're going to run through this like this. And there were some captains who are like, here's the practice plan.
Right.
You can balls. Thank you so much. It was really cool the way that everything fell into place so quickly. There was no hiccups, no speed bumps. We did have a real meltdown though in our very first draft, and that was a wild ride. But as far as that's technology.
I heard the technology. Yeah, that happens.
I don't know.
I think you guys go through all that, and then we'll smooth sailing.
We're here for you. That's the thing. We are here for you. I had to Google how to start a live video. I don't know if you heard me talk. But like when I opened this, I'm like, all right, I just Googled how to start a live. So
I saw you on it. Don't you do a podcast? How do you not know this?
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm doing. So
it's okay. Hey, you got this.
I turned 30 in September, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna know how to do things. And I did not wake up and know how to do things. So
hey, you did it right. I saw that you were like, I couldn't even help you because I requested, and you're like, I don't think I know how. And I'm like, I had faith, but you got it. You got it.
Oh my God, I'm just gonna poke this thing and see if something happens.
Well, we're here. We are here.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
A lot of fans in the comments. You got a lot of fans.
Oh, Chitty, that's
my best friend. Sam love.
She's so cute. I'm so glad she's on here.
I love that.
I've kind of seen a little bit of the comments as we're going. It's hard to concentrate on more than one thing.
I know.
But lots of
life. Someone wants me to come to Japan, so I actually have been. That has been on my bucket list. So I will be coming to Japan. I promise I will be there just after the pandemic, so we can travel.
Right. I support the decision to go over there.
Yes,
you definitely should.
That would be awesome.
Do you like more talking about straight up lax stuff? Mm-hmm. How did you get into the sport? What was it that did somebody ask you to join? Did you see other people playing? How did it happen?
Yeah. So again, I started late, technically late in the lax world or just in the sports world. But my cousin had played at a D3 school near us, and she I was at her house, and she's like, "You want to have a catch?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? With a stick?" And she gave me the stick, and I was like, "Okay, this is cool." And then my dad actually had a coworker that was the backup goalie for the pro men's indoor league. So we went to a game. It was so fun, which is crazy because I'm pretty sure Gary Gate was on the field, which then became my head coach at Syracuse.
Whoa,
worlds coming together. And I definitely, and then I went to a camp and was like, I'm in love with this. I remember saying that to my mom getting into the car. No one knew what the sport was. It was just chickens running with their heads cut off. But I found love in it that way. So I knew I had to get good quick if I wanted to make something of it. And I was in my backyard playing every single day and just going to all the college games around me that I could watch. And some of the greatest players to ever play were the people that I was watching, and I wanted to be them. And now they're some of my best friends. So it's really cool how it all came full circle. And that's why I always tell kids, I know it's so cheesy to say, but really follow your dreams and really work hard. And I promise that it'll all work out, because it doesn't matter where you start or when you start.
So beautiful. That was so great. I feel like I need to go watch a sports movie and just
run through a brick wall. But yeah, I'm just so lucky. So, and now I have this opportunity, and I'm just really, you guys have paved the way, and it's really, really cool to watch. And just seeing AU softball on every night, I felt like it was playing every single night. I turned on my TV, and I was like, yes. Tuned in.
That's what I feel like. In growing the sport is getting it in front of people that we know, we put a good product on the field. We know we're competitive. We know that we're badass, you know? And if somebody's scrolling through, especially this year where there's like nothing to watch.
I know.
There's nothing to watch.
You guys were like the pandemic like queens. Like I loved it.
You know? Sports. Oh, you know what? I'm a sports fan. This looks like a sport. What is this? Oh my God, all of a sudden we have a softball fan. All of a sudden we have a lacrosse fan because it's in front of us. So AU doing what they're doing to get us in front of people, that's like the biggest foundation for what we want is to grow the sport, to make it so that one day whoever is trying to go and play, I want to be a professional lax player and swing my wand around and win points. Like
100%.
It's going to be a lot easier for them than it was for us. That's the dream.
And just going off that, like I think that's what our sport has lacked in just the exposure. Like, yeah, there's games here and there on ESPN, but we never like ESPN3, like you have to go on your phone or your tablet or whatever. And it's very rare that we get a game on ESPNU. You know, I just think that this is like going to propel our sport so much, and it's what we need. And I think that, you know, going off of just the fastest growing sport, I really think this is going to be the, you know, the light that just sends it into, you know, everyone wanting to play. So it's really, really cool for the exposure and just, again, just the fans that we'll have.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited for you guys.
I'm dying at the last comment.
Dude, I honestly kind of was wondering, so I'm super happy this person asked this question. Is it worse getting accidentally whacked with the stick or the ball?
It's kind of, it depends. I don't get hit much like with a ball because of just like goalies get hit so badly. And if it's cold out and you get hit with the ball, that hurts. But getting whacked in like the fingers is tough. But tough. We're tough.
Yeah.
Tough chicks.
Yeah. Are there fouls in?
Yes, all the time. Too many. So
Sweet.
we're trying to like make it so it's not as, the whistle doesn't blow as much.
So you can't like go up and whack someone.
No.
That'd be like
in men's lacrosse you can. So if you see that, that's definitely because they wear pads and helmets and whatnot. So
okay.
Yeah. You can make contact.
Okay. But yeah, you can't get like a knockout.
You'll get carted out and you'll off from your team.
Oh, that's, you know what? I'm glad I asked that because I knew the answer, I feel like, but it's still worth asking.
Yeah.
What's the hardest part about playing lacrosse? Like, what is the biggest challenge?
There's, you know, it's a very fast sport. Physically, mentally, like you got to be ready to make decisions in a split second. And I think that kind of separates some players from great to like the or good to great. I think having this like lacrosse IQ and it's making those decisions, but you got to be in shape. Like you have to be in tip top shape, and not that that's hard.
Wow.
I mean, you want to be good. But I just think that that's the thing. Like you gotta be in such good shape and make those split second decisions or just have that lacrosse IQ. And that goes along with like watching lacrosse and watching how plays are made and just being creative. But it's really cool. I mean, it's a very team-based sport. You know, it's a full team. It's not just individual. So just making sure your team is cohesive and good culture and whatnot. So it's cool. It's and there's different types of players. There's some that are flashy and that the Kayla trainers that put the ball in the back of the net, like she can do it so easily. And you know, there's some players that are all run and gun and the nitty gritty in between the 30s. And this is probably all like not English to you.
But I'm so excited.
But that's what makes our sport so unique, that you could be yourself in your sport and kind of bring that cool like flavor to your team. So
totally
that's what I'm hoping to bring.
Can I tell you what I thought that like the hardest thing would be?
What?
Like running and catching it. Because to be honest, I'm playing softball and I have to run and like a ball's in the air, like my head's bouncing, you know, like that seems really hard.
I can't wait to put a stick in your hand or a twig or a, you know, whatever we call it. And we're gonna have like I'm gonna softball hit the ball and you're gonna have the stick in your hand. You're gonna have to catch it in the outfield.
I 100% want to do this like tomorrow. So That sounds great.
Yeah. I'll meet you.
Does anybody like name their stick?
For sure. For
Oh.
sure. People do. I didn't, I don't think. I put my number on the side of it, but
Yeah.
I definitely think people name their sticks, and I would love to see if anyone does in the comments. Just let us know, people.
Yeah. What's your stick's name?
Yeah.
I will, like with softball bats, like we'll go through a season and break bats. Like bats will get too hot and you can't use them anymore. Yeah. Have kind of like an assortment of bats. Do you have like the same stick for a long time and just redo the net in it, or?
So it depends. Yeah, the netting. And again, they're all different, and it's all based on what you want. And they get really, once you use it for a long time, it gets really like bagged out. So then it becomes illegal. So you have to be able to see the ball over the top of your stick. Yeah, some break, but I'm the kind of player that like will use their stick till it literally breaks. But going back to the stick naming, I worked at Oregon with one of my best friends, and she like took care of the draw team and she was the head coach, so she did everything. But the draw team is like a certain stick that you have to get the draw from with, and we named every single stick.
That's pretty cool. I love the little quirks of all the every sport has their little quirks.
Exactly.
And I realize this has turned into more of like an educate Sam on lacrosse. And
I guess we should get to some of the questions.
I know there are some fan questions, which I did kind of ask some of them already, but we talked about coaches, we talked about facilitators, we talked about you, and let's see.
Guess we could.
I like this.
Yeah, you go.
Oh, you go. Is your time to shine?
We might be on the same one, but how are the teams picked? And I know we kind of talked about the draft, but I've never been to a draft like you have. But so there's 4 people, the top ranked people every week, and correct me if I mess up, but they get to draft their teams each week. So that's when the teams will be picked, and then they'll have that week to prepare for the weekend games.
And you guys, you know what days you guys are playing on yet? Because we work Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Yeah, I think we're Friday, Saturday, Sunday, except for one weekend. I think we were going midweek.
Cool. And then you guys, so like for us, we had the drafts were on Tuesday, and then you got to practice with your team Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then you had Saturday, Sunday, Monday games.
Yeah.
It started all over again. So it's interesting that everything meshed together so quickly with 3 days of practice. Like it makes, like you talked a lot about, lacrosse IQ. Yeah. So IQ is huge in order to be like, all right, this is what we need to do to win. This is how we need to utilize all of these pieces to make up this one team that's going to go out and win.
Right.
But
there's not like a ton of schemes that you need. I don't know how, how you guys were with softball, and I think it's obviously a lot with like pitching and whatnot. But there's different things that you can do in lacrosse. You can play a zone defense or a man-to-man. You can force out a certain way. You can go to double. Defensively, like that, you got to be on the same page. Offensively, you can be somewhat creative, but there's got to be some type of structure. And I think that'll be fun to see, like all the people, like all the players, like speak up and tell us what they think and kind of go off of that. And I think we'll all become smart lacrosse players.
Oh man, the drafts are gonna look different every week. That's what was cool. I would text with people while the draft was going on and be like, all right, this is starting off really interesting. Or I wonder what they're thinking with their draft, and where are they going? Yeah. So it every week looked totally different than the week before, which I thought was really cool. But this is actually a really good question. Pitchers and catchers were the hot picks for softball, essentially. Like you need a shutout pitcher to give you win games. It just is what it is, right?
For sure.
What position is that for lacrosse?
Draw takers are really, really important. If a draw taker can put the ball anywhere and pick it out of the air, like that's possession immediately. So when you have like a lights out draw taker, we have so many great draw takers in our sport, that is someone that can control the game completely. Also, goalies are so important because there's so many shots. Like pitchers, right? I don't know how many pitches they pitch in a game, probably 100 or something, right? I'm not sure.
Game.
There's going to be so many shots in the game. So if a goalie's not seeing the ball well, then it's going to be over quickly. But But then again, I mean, I feel like the top positions are, you know, a goal scorer as well, and a midi that can get up and down the field and play both sides. But I would say the draw takers, goalies, and then, you know,
everybody else.
Everyone else, yeah. I would say like the best attacker, the best draw taker, the best defender.
Right.
But yeah, it's just really cool. There's so many, you know, I'm just so excited to see, you know, play it all.
Yeah. To see how it could work and see maybe the best teams that are created are maybe not exactly what you might be thinking they could.
I know. I was thinking that. I was like, doesn't always have to be, you know, the person that puts the ball in the back. I mean, obviously a goal scorer that's, you know, that's what wins games when we have the balls in the back of the net more than the other team.
Yeah.
But it's all about how everyone plays together. So it's really cool. What position would you play in softball?
Yeah.
So I played a few.
Okay, let's hear.
Shortstop, second base. I did have to pitch a few times. I told you that.
Yes.
I tell you that. But I don't know why I played those positions, because I would love to play outfield and like dive and like try to get the ball before it goes over the fence.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what I'll be popping over to AU, you know, softball. And
you could be the first ever multi-sport AU athlete where you're like, look.
I might be too short for volleyball, so I'm coming to softball.
That, you know what, that works. That totally works. Because they're like super important positions. Playing the middle infield, that's like, all right, you got to be good there.
Yeah. So. See, the ball scared me when it would like hit the ground really hard. I thought I was going to pop up and hit my teeth.
That happens. It happens. One time, oh my God, it was in 2010. I was a sophomore in college. Wow. And we were playing in Hawaii. I cannot remember like somebody's name that I just met 30 seconds ago.
You'll remember this time in Hawaii.
Yeah. What? Anyway. And oh my God, our pitcher hit a batter in the ball. She was a lefty hitter. The ball hit her here and her tooth went there. And I was at shortstop just kind of like, okay, everything's fine. You know what? That was one of the worst things that's ever happened to me. And nothing happened to me. I was just like, I had to be there and watch it.
Worst part of my life. That was the worst moment of my life. You like still message that girl, are you doing okay? Like,
yeah, like how's your face? It was rough. But I wanted to ask you, oh, okay, I did Instagram stalking because I have no shame on the Instagram.
Oh, me neither. I did the same. Don't you worry.
And like the mask that
goggles. We call them goggles.
Goggles. Does everybody wear goggles, or they're different?
Yeah, you have to. In the US, yes. Some internationals do not have to. So when we go to World Cup, you'll see teams, which is confusing if you haven't ever played or watched lacrosse. Some countries don't have to wear them, but we do. We're required to in the US. So I honestly would like to play without them, but that's me. That's like, I'm probably like one of not many that would.
So in softball, you would be the player who wouldn't wear a mask on her helmet.
Which is probably very scary. But I would in softball because that ball is really hard and the pitches are coming really fast.
And the tooth will fly right out.
And you'll just be.
Yeah, if she had a cage on her helmet, she would have gone to first base.
I see a lot more softball players wear, or I guess the full cage. Yeah, but is there something? Oh, the pitchers now with the mask.
In the field, yeah.
Because I saw a horrible thing at Oregon when I was working.
Traumatizing. Why do we do this to ourselves? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I brought that up.
Wow. On that note, no, I'm kidding. Number one, I feel like I've learned so much. I'm so excited to do the Google and watch lacrosse, and get to know these players, especially like we're both on the PEC for our respective sports, so I know we're definitely going to be working together at some point for some reason in the future. But is there anything like on a final note that you want to say, number one, about your sport, but about Athletes Unlimited in general? Like, I know we've talked for a while about the excitement, but what would you have any like closing remarks? Yeah, I don't know.
I really hope that any young players listening or new fans or players that have played for a long time, I just hope that know that we're just so excited for this to be an opportunity for any young kid to look in the stands or from the stands on the field or look on their TV and know that they have a place. And that they have an opportunity to be a pro, because it is not very often that women get that opportunity. There's so much more opportunity for men, and especially to get paid too. So that is a big part of it as well. So it's really cool that we have this opportunity, and the game of lacrosse is so fun to watch. And I know it's ever, evolving, and there's so many different rules, but just know we're going to put the best product out there, and we're going to have fun while doing it. And we're just so thankful for the opportunity that John and Jonathan have given us, and AU Pro Sports has given us. So thankful that they thought of us with lacrosse, adding lacrosse. So thank you, softball, for paving the way and making everything so fun, and getting us so excited. So I just hope that everyone watching feel that they have a place as a fan, or eventually to be in our shoes. So
yes. That I don't know why I've been doing these. Like, I've never done that in my life, but I just felt that from
the live has gotten to you.
I feel like a new person. I do need to save the live video, and I don't have any clue.
As soon as you finish it, it'll hit save, I think, and then you can do that.
So I have to push end and then save.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then your phone, it might take a while to be like, I don't know. My phone's like,
cool. So if it doesn't work, I'm just going to make sure that people know that this was your advice for me.
Yes. Cool. And then we're going to get in trouble because we're supposed to post it.
Yeah. We'll just have it tomorrow. It's fine. This was great.
Okay, good.
Thank you so much for taking the time and for, informing me on this great sport. I'm so excited. I'm a fan already, and I can't wait to learn. Maybe I'll get my own stick. I don't know. Who knows how into it I'm really
I should send you on. Do you like the color purple? Because that's the color of the blue.
Why is I don't understand myself. Why, like, nothing in my house is like purple paint. I got nothing, and that's a lacrosse ball.
I don't know.
I'll
send you a yellow lacrosse ball.
Okay.
And I'll send you a lacrosse stick.
Oh my God. I'll send you a yellow softball. They're all yellow.
I better see you in December in a few weeks, and then we'll have
Gosh, I'm really hoping that it's going to work out, and I'll be there for you. But yeah, oh my gosh. Well, thank you again, and I'm so excited to see what you guys can do and to see all the players that you guys are going to continue to sign. And good freaking luck with everything. And
let's keep in touch. Let's have our weekly check-ins. Okay.
That'd be great. New friends.
Well, thanks for having me, Sam. I appreciate it. And you're so lucky. It's only 6:12 there, or right?
It's 7:12. Arizona
7:12.
didn't change the time, so I'm still very confused on what time it is.
That's great. Arizona's like that weird spot.
Yeah, we're like, you guys all change around us, and then we'll just I don't know what we are. But well, I will talk to you soon. Best of luck, and I can't wait to see what lacrosse does.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Talk soon.
Bye.
Bye.
I don't know how to do it.